Okay, is this working? It's been like 3 months, I feel like, maybe more. But yeah, so for the past while, I've been working on this new update. I'm gonna play with it today. It's still not totally finished, but I think it's finally somewhere that I can start to use it to do some work. So yeah, today I'm gonna paint this onion and just go through some of the new stuff here. So we are on, this is version 2.7.13, which is the new UI beta. It's up on desktop if you want to try it, and it looks like this. And I guess the goal with this version, or this whole overhaul here, is to make things better for the first time user, because I noticed that a lot of people were struggling at first. Once you get used to it, it seems to be good, but yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that picked up Heavypaint for the first time, tried it for like a minute, and said, never again, this is a horrible program, because of the way that things just don't really line up. So the idea here is to get some of the basic tool settings. Let me just check my stream here for a second before I talk for too long, because I'm sure that the audio is probably broken or something. So please give me a thumbs up in chat if you're here. Let me check. Please give me a thumbs up. Wait. Okay, it is working. So what were we talking about? Yeah. So the basic stuff has been exposed here at the top. So we have shapes, mode, and texture. So these are the basic elements that make up a Heavypaint tool. And before, these were sort of hidden in the tool settings, and instead of these you would see the tool presets, which I think was really good for experienced users, because they can get exactly the tool that they want. They've already customized their presets, everything is all streamlined to their workflow. But for the beginner, it was kind of confusing, because they were changing presets and like all these settings were changing, and they didn't know what was changing what. So this is a lot more of a direct one-to-one relationship between what the buttons that you're pressing and the things that happen. So here, for example, this is a repeat type shape, and it just repeats the texture stamp over and over. This is the draw type shape, and it sort of stretches the texture all along. Then we have the fill stretch, which does what it says. And then also the other thing that's changed in this version is that there's icons everywhere. The old version didn't have icons, partly because I was lazy, and also partly because I thought that text was the best way to represent these tools, which I still believe, at least for the presets. So the presets are really difficult to describe with icons, because they can be so wildly different, and they have different properties to them, that it's hard to describe a tool preset all in one icon. So instead of that, we're just using letters for the tool presets, which is the same as the old preset system here, where you just have an abbreviated letters system. So as you can see, as I'm changing to the different presets, you can, on the top middle, you'll see all the different properties changing for each tool, including the texture, the mode, and the shape. So I don't know if this experiment will be better or worse than the old version. The only way is to actually do it. So here we are, 3 months later or whatever, and the thing is almost done. My eyeballs are bleeding, my wrists are getting carpal tunnel, everything is my body is falling apart. But hopefully this thing is at a state where I can start to consider maybe publishing it soon. And the other thing is, Lightbox is like 1 week away, and that's another reason why I'm doing this. Is I wanted to have something better for, you know, the general people that we're going to be seeing this at Lightbox, which I'm very excited about because that's, you know, a big convention, a lot of artists. There's going to be some big name artists there, a lot of, you know, animation people there. So I'm really excited to see what everybody thinks of Heavypaint. So yeah, I'm trying to lead with a good foot at Lightbox and have something that's pleasant to use for beginners. I hope. Audio's loud, sorry. Let me adjust a little bit. Oh yeah, it's clipping a lot. Is this any better? Audio wise? Hello, hello? Blah blah blah. Okay. Alright. Sorry about the audio, guys. So let me run through everything. So we have the, let's see, value here. We have size here. This little size indicator is new. We have rotation here, or tilt. This indicator is also new. I've been trying to just make a lot more visual feedback with everything too, so that it's a lot easier to see what you're doing when you change a setting. This is the new color jitter. It's been renamed to color FX because the way this system works now is that I noticed that well, there's a lot of different settings that can give you color jitter in Heavypaint, which I'm going to show you right now. But basically, I just need one slider that can control all the color jitter related settings at once, because it's too annoying to like have to go in and, let's say you want to turn off all color jitter, you'd have to go in and change like 5 different settings at once. So this is a lot cleaner, I think. Let me get to my dry brush. So this is color jitter, right? If I turn it all the way up, it's more jittery. All the way down, there's nothing, which is this slider. But the thing is, this slider controls a bunch. It's like a multiplier for a bunch of different settings. So let me go into the texture menu here. Here's the new texture settings menu. So this noise right here is one of the color jitter types. There's also, if we click into here, there's other different color jitters, like we have point. So let me turn down noise and turn up point, and you can see this is point. And let me make the texture solid. So this is point color jitter. And again, this is still controlled by this one overall slider. This is like the global color FX slider, right? And then we can also mix these together so that it's like, it's a little bit of both. And then you can see there's noise, both of them, although it's a little too much. Another type of color jitter is stroke. So this means, you know, every stroke you get a different tint to the stroke. Let me go back in here, turn that down, here, I'll turn the stroke. Anyway, it's the main thing is just that I want the beginner to be able to turn it up, turn it down, and that'll be it. And then if they want, they can go in and to the nitty gritty and get more detailed with everything. What else? We have opacity here, pressure, like this. You can do distance. Oh, that's kind of weird. Texture rotation here. So this is really handy for these kind of textures. Oh, what's going on? Oh, it's a distortion, that's why. Yeah, this is handy for these kind of gradients that are like sideways, because then you can get the same texture and just rotate it around to do the opposite. And then what else? Oh yeah, this is kind of fun, distortion. So we also have these new XY controls, which here I'll show you. what this does. Alright, so for example with the noise, if I drag this XY, you can see it controls the scale of the noise. You know, it looks pretty ugly, but I just want to show exactly what's happening. You can go this way, and this is more like how I usually use the noise, sort of like a simulated brush stroke. And then when you turn it down a little bit, it looks more reasonable. Okay. And then what else? Smudge. Let me go back to here. What am I doing? I already have a bunch of presets here that I'm... Oh yeah, so you can also drag on the texture control up here to adjust it. And this is kind of cool when you have... I've been using it a lot, especially with this repeat type, because then you get like a nice flat brush type thing. And when you add in the noise, it looks sort of like a paintbrush. Pretty happy with this kind of effect. And then the thicker vertically that you make it, the more heavy the paint will look. And I'm finding that, you know, with just these little distortion and noise settings, you can get so much more mileage out of the same old textures that you have. And this way you only need a few textures and you can get almost like any infinite effect. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty fun. We got this one. So yeah, the textures are almost unrecognizable once you put it through some distortion. Or you can go back to the standard version where it's just a straight up texture. The other thing that's changed in this version is that the textures don't repeat anymore. So when you change the size of a texture, before it used to just like mirror and repeat the texture, which I think looked a little bit fake, or it looked weird. I might bring that as an option in later, but I think this is better for default because then you can, you know, squish the texture and get really drastically different looks out of it. Let's see, what if we rotate this one? Well, anyway, so as you can see here, I'm just sort of having fun playing with the settings, which I think is a good thing. I want people to be playing with this stuff more, because I noticed with the old version, since it's preset based, that you would just, a lot of people didn't even know that there were tool settings. Like they just used the presets and that was it, which I think is a bit of a shame because you can really customize everything and make it interesting. Okay, so here's the line radial. Everybody knows this tool by now. There's a lasso, circle, and then we can also do smudge on the circle, or any tool really. And let's increase the smudge strength. This would probably feel better if there was something more interesting to smudge, but let me go here. But yeah, this version is still kind of, it's not final for sure. There's still a lot of polish to do, but this is the general idea, like just the layout, the priorities of things. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions about this, please let me know. But yeah, the goal is to have something presentable for Lightbox, which is next week, which doesn't give me much time. So I'm more just like tweaking stuff and fiddling with things. Um, yeah, the layout is one of the things that I've been kind of going around in circles with because I'm not sure exactly what would be the best layout. I've toying with, you know, some people prefer having the side slider up here. Some people would rather have it on the side. I can see how this would be better for people on mobile, especially, because you know you can use your thumb to control this stuff. Same goes for this stuff here. You probably want to use your thumb to do the undo and redo. Um, Oh yeah, also eyedropper has been moved to this little color circle. Either of the color circles really can do eyedropper, so when you click on it, you actually get a feedback, like a visual feedback for your eyedropper with the current color and the previous color, which I think is better than the old one. And then you can also, there's a little dirty little secret here. You can drag on the color circle to adjust the value and the hue. So I've been actually using this a lot painting, and it's nice for making small relative adjustments to your color. It's a little bit less, it's a little bit more lazy than manually picking your color and a little less lazy than eyedropping. So I think it's a neat way to work. I haven't really seen this too much in. They probably have it in other apps too. I just don't know off the top of my head who has it. All right, and yeah, with smudge, I've found that distortion is kind of cool because like if we get a very light peppery smudge, then you get some cool effects here. Let me turn down the blur. And also noise affects smudge too. It affects the texture. Here, let's try it like this. I've also gotten rid of a lot of the knobs. I had some versions that were just filled with knob controls, and a lot of people were just not comfortable with knobs. I think the art world is just not ready for knobs yet. Music people have been using knobs forever, but for some reason artists do not like to use knob controls. So I've taken it out. Look at this crazy texture, guys. It's just bonkers. It's so much fun to paint with this. Okay, so let me. Oh yeah, so if you click on the thing twice, you can either click here or click here, and you get some more options. Like you can turn off follow. I like painting like this a lot, actually, where you just get rid of your then it really looks like a flat brush, right? Let's see. Hey guys, hey Benjamin. Hello flowers. Hi Fresh Go. Benoy. Kahenya. Yeah, thank you for the kind words. I'm really excited about this version. It's probably in a way it is going back to how the original Heavypaint was before there was any presets, and I think a lot of people latched onto that one because it was just so simple, and you could see what was happening with the tools so easily, which I think I definitely lost some of that in the later versions. So I'm hoping this will bring back some of that magic. I'm gonna use this color circle thing to drag around. The only thing is you can't control whatchamacallit, your saturation with that. But yeah, if you guys want to try this version out, it's up on the Heavypaint website, heavypaint.com. This beta version is up. For the past, yeah, few couple months, I've been posting on the Discord too, if you're on there, and we've been discussing like all the different nitty-gritty details of the UI, trying to come up with the best setup. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm having a lot of fun, and also sort of dying. Like like I said, my body doesn't feel very good, but we're almost there. It's only a week left until the convention. So once that's done, I'm probably gonna just collapse and take a really long nap or something. So I'm just this whole process has been reminding me of like school time, where you're just working on a finals project or something and just, yeah, eating ramen and all that. It's crazy. Let me try direction. Hey, thanks, flowers. Hey, Marino. Yeah, it's there's been a lot of changes. It's like it's a lot of work. All right, let me try smudge here. So for the convention too, I'm thinking about setting up a little still life on the table so that people can, do a little painting if they want. I think that would be fun. So, yeah, maybe I'll have some onions or some fruits or something. Pumpkins. It'll be October over after all, so. I really love painting onions though. I think they're like one of those cheater things that you can paint because they look so cool already. It's hard to do a bad painting of an onion, I think. They're just weird. They're like sci-fi. It's like a sci-fi fruit, huh? Because they're like translucent and shiny, and they've got layers, and they look technological to me somehow. They look like an alien grenade or something. Oh yeah, I have a question for you guys. One thing I'm thinking about is for the default tool. I kind of there's so much texture stuff in here that I think it would be a shame to have just a pure white texture, but at the same time, it would probably be less confusing for a beginner to start off with this like solid white texture. What do you guys think? Would you rather, do you think it would be more enticing to start off with something like this, where there's a little bit of texture, or just the straight flat texture? And on that note, noise too. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for noise. I think I have to have some noise in the default, because that's just like, at this point, that's sort of the signature move of Heavypaint. Everyone sort of knows it because it's got this weird noise. They're like, it's that alien program with the just, I don't know, it has glitches everywhere or whatever. I don't know how people describe Heavypaint. They either hate it or they love it, which is a good thing, I think. You should probably... I don't want anyone to feel mediocre about it. Also, the presets have been renamed a little bit, so they're basically the same presets, but I've just renamed them so that they don't overlap with the shape names, because before there was a preset called fill, and there's a shape called fill, right? And then there's a shape called fill stretch, and there was a preset called fill stretch. I think that was contributing a lot to the confusion that was happening, where you couldn't tell the difference between what's a preset and what's a shape per se. So I've sort of renamed the presets so that they're more unique, like erase lasso or bush or blur one, you know, so they don't, I just don't want them to have the same exact name as one of the tool properties, you know, because that's confusing. Oops. More interesting texture to start out with. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky question. The defaults are so important, guys. Like in any program, I'm a huge um, defaults aficionado, I guess. Like if I see a program that has perfect defaults, I get weak in the knees, you know. So I'm trying to find the perfect defaults, but it's basically impossible. Let's see. Can you set value in hue to distance, speed, etc.? I still have the old version that lets me do. Oh man, yeah. Actually, ideally, this stuff like pressure and distance, these both right now they sort of like toggle in between, and you can toggle them off, but they could theoretically all be on at the same time. So these could be like checkboxes that you just check on and off, and it would, yeah, it should, you should be able to put these modifiers onto any setting ideally, but that's that'll be for the next update, I think. But yeah, that would be cool. The other thing too with these menus, these new menus, is I've tried to prioritize like the most common or impactful settings up to the top, and move the less common ones to the bottom, because it would be pretty overwhelming to see all of them at once. And then also you can do this to expand or contract the settings. So this will probably be improved too. Like I need to have a slider thing too, so you can scroll. But that'll be later on, I think. Is there an opacity slider in the main GUI? No, it's still hidden in the texture settings. So it's down here now. I've always wanted this opacity slider to be semi-hidden, or like second class setting, because That's one of my missions with Heavypaint, is to get people to paint without opacity digitally, because I think that ruins a lot of digital painting in general. But it's here if you need it in the texture settings. You can also put pressure or distance on it. Boom, 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 boom. What else do we have? So this is blur. You have the strength here, and you have the noise size, which controls how fine grain it will be. It can go really low, and then it's going to be like that. Oh yeah, the layers menu. It's the same basically, but you can move it around. This you can move around. You can move around everything, guys. Like, as it is right now, the UI is completely move aroundable. You can also drag these to reorient them. Oh shit! Why is that doing that? This is the old tools inventory here, which I need to fix. It's not responding right now, but yeah, you basically click on these hearts to pin them up here to this other like abbreviated menu. Yeah, the other tricky thing is trying to make this work for mobile and desktop and iOS or iPad. So I'm trying to find a good compromise between, you know, the different aspect ratios of the phone, the desktop, and the iPad, and ideally I want to keep them. I don't want to have a different layout for each separate platform, because the thinking is that if somebody is really used to painting on their iPad, for example, and then they switch to their phone, I don't want them to have to like relearn the program to use it on their phone. I want it to be similar enough that it still feels like home, and same goes for desktop. So I'm trying to just have one layout for everything. Another idea just from yesterday is to have this toolbar thing up on top instead of on the bottom. The thinking here is that you would probably be changing colors a lot more often than you would be changing your, you know, tool shape. So I'm just testing that out now and just seeing how it feels. I did a little painting yesterday, and I think it feels okay so far. I should probably get back to painting here. But yeah, there's just a billion little changes in this version, guys. Another thing I'm thinking about is what to do with this big color circle. I have the option to turn it on or off here, and you totally can use the program without it. I'm just not sure if it's better or not. The problem is this stuff is taking up a little bit more space on the phone, so it's like that big color circle doesn't really have enough room to breathe properly. So I'm still trying to figure that out. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here anymore. Let's see. And maybe undo and redo should be closer to this main area, because it is kind of annoying having to reach down there every time. There is something to having all the controls that you use commonly all in one area. I think it's sort of a nice little muscle memory thing where you don't have to think as much. You just go to the same area. What do you guys think? Would you rather have this slider to the side like this or up in the middle with all the other stuff? Hey, Mulch. Yeah. Welcome back. It's morning here. Well, not morning. What is it? It's 3 o'clock here. Do 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 do. Hey Anna, thank you for the kind words. How am I gonna do this little squiggly roots thing at the bottom? This is confusing. Maybe. Whoa. Oh, it's not even down there. I think I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I should try to get this stuff going. Yeah, you know, I think there's something fun to just playing around with the settings all on one preset and just not changing your presets that much. So you're just sort of like crawling through all on the same tool. It's a little bit more of a stream of conscious type of thing, I think. I'm still getting used to these layouts too, because they keep changing so much that I'm always like a little bit lost of confused of where to click, which is not a good thing considering I'm the one who laid this thing out. Yeah, I also have to give thanks to there were a few people, a few UI designers that kind of just gave me unsolicited advice of like, oh, you should do it this way or change this. And some of them actually made Figma mockups with full-on like UI layouts that they had created from scratch, where what they thought Heavypaint could be like. And I don't know what it was, but I think I was trying to make icons. I was trying to do these shape icons in Figma, and then I saw all these old Figma files that they shared with me, and I like almost totally forgot about them. And then I looked at them again, and I was thinking like, huh, these are actually pretty amazing. I should have paid more attention. So yeah, shout out to you guys who were sending me Figmas back in the day. I'm still a Figma noob, but I appreciate those. They've helped me kind of, I don't know. Another perspective on things is always cool. Why is this texture not working? What did I do? Sorry guys, I'm just fiddling I'm in California right now, Mulch. Where are you? But I used to do my streams really late, like 2 or 3 a.m. here, Pacific time. So I think a lot of people on YouTube were used to me, you know, doing late night stuff. Maybe the time zones are all. Man, this painting, what did I do? Holy crap. I think I'm talking too much. Sort of lost track. So when in doubt, I'm just going back to my giant brush so I can be more toddler in nature. Yeah, I'm excited for Lightbox because probably there's going to be some, you know, superstar painters walking around in the crowd, so I would love to see someone who's, you know, painting, a professional painter actually doing it. Let's see. Yeah. I wonder if is anybody here gonna be in at Lightbox? The dude, okay, well, I would say in terms of opacity, like how about like this, you know? Like this to me feels like real life opacity. If we're talking about like gouache or oil or something where we can paint very lightly, right? By just getting less of the paint onto the paper like that. But actually watering down the paint, I think, is not as useful for digital. I mean, like this. I think people abuse it in digital painting too much, and I just want it to be not as prevalent, you know? Like it's a tool that you can use, but I don't think you should be using it to put in your main values and stuff, you know? Like you can use it to finesse, but I think, and there's other ways to get opacity too, or you can change the texture to get opacity, you know? So if we just change the texture to something more peppery and lighter, we're still getting opacity even though we're not changing the opacity, you know? It's opacity by changing the texture, which I think is a more realistic way to do it. Like I guess opacity makes more sense for watercolor, but for gouache and oil, I don't think it works as well. But you know what I'm talking about, right? Like a lot of digital paintings might have this look where, especially because opacity is so perfect in digital that it looks really weird versus in watercolor, even if you're painting over with water, like washes, the water is interacting with the paint and doing things, right? It's not like creating a perfect crispy edge with a little bit of opacity, because that to me feels really unnatural. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure. It's one of these little things that I probably will change my mind about in the future, but for right now, that's what I'm thinking. That's one of the nice things about this project is over time I've been able to change my mind about a lot of things, which I know that I'm a kind of a stubborn person. So it's good, over the years to see how the program changes and how my I guess my opinions change about this stuff. So yeah, I'm not saying that I'm never gonna treat opacity as like a first class setting, but that's how I feel right now. But I mean this brush here is feeling slightly like a dry brush. Can get some fading in. When I go darker in value, I like to crank up the color FX. I'm not sure if it should be a thing where it sort of automatically does that for you. Like it multiplies the noise by the value. Because you definitely see it more with lighter colors versus when you're in a darker color, you sort of have to crank it up manually. Let me bring this up all the way. So that's a dark color and here's a light color. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's okay. Oh man, you know what? This little shiny part is gonna be, whew. It's kind of orangey. I don't know why I keep reaching to the side here for the undo redo. Maybe it should be somewhere around here. Yeah, the undo redo is another thing that I've always been a little bit opinionated about. To me, I feel like undo redo is not a great thing too. It's something that sort of hampers digital painters is the ability to undo redo. Um, so yeah, it's weird. I guess you kind of need it though. But I sort of wish like the old version of Heavy Paint didn't have undo redo, and I still have this little option here where you can go to, in the options, there's a hardcore mode, and it turns off everything. So now there's no undo. And I'm too soft to do this now, like, I would just fail right away. But I'll try. It definitely does, like, heighten your senses when you don't have undo. It makes you focus for sure. I've been trying to be a little bit more wild with these studies too, and just in terms of colors and textures and everything, just be more brash with everything, especially in the beginning. I've noticed around the like hour mark or whatever that my paintings usually tend to get stiff and ugly. Oh no, no undo. Okay, see, I'm already failing here. Okay, let's see if we can get some of these squigglies. Try it different. Preset. I'm gonna reset the pencil. Yeah, this is the part that's really fun about onions. I like the tendrils. I always love drawing trees and roots and all that kind of organic stuff. Try to give them a little shading too. They seem to get brighter out towards the extremities. So let's try. It's a little bit brighter, like this hero root over here. Yeah, exactly. With the undo, and eyedropper, I'm trying to make it into a game where it is a negative stat. The more undos you do is worse objectively. So like if we hit tab here, you can see we have done a lot of undos in this painting. It's the second most done thing that I've done. So if I'm able to eliminate the undos, I will save so much time. But I just need to work on it, you know. But at least we are be able to see it here, and you know, see how bad it is actually. Here's the eyedropper. I've actually been pretty good with the eyedropper. Only used it a couple times, so that's good. The other thing here is right now these stats, they go based off of tool preset. So I think I need to change it so that it because sometimes if you're using the same preset all the time and just changing the tool settings, it looks a little crazy like this. But there could probably be an option to show it by shape type and also by mode type, or just to organize these by different metrics, I guess. Let's see. I think this is looking cool. Maybe if I can get a little bit. I like how crazy it is over here. It looks like madness, so I'll leave that. Yeah, I'm definitely hunting for undo a lot on this one. So maybe undo would go, where would it go? Maybe it could go on this side, this slider menu. I'm gonna change that right now actually, guys, so you can see how it works behind the scenes. But here, let me save this first. But basically, I have a little UI library that I had to make for this update, because there's just so much UI stuff here. This is basically like completely from scratch UI again. So I decided this time, instead of building everything the same way as I did before, which was really not very flexible, this is a new way where you can just, there's different UI classes, like there's a button class, you have a setting that it does, and you can set the icon, you can set a bunch of, you know, settings for the button. So I'm gonna look for my sidebar, oh wait, sorry, sliders menu. This is the menu that contains the size slider. So you can see there's a touch slider here with the setting size, and then there's a knob for rotation, and there's a scene with the color minimize thing, which is that little color circle thing. So if I add the buttons, which I can just grab from the other menu since it's all text. So let me look for the button, the undo button. It's in this menu toolbar, and oh wait, no, it's not in menu toolbar, it's in menu sidebar, and it's called undo redo here. So here's the undo redo buttons. I'm gonna copy these, or I can cut them. I'll just copy them and hide them on this one, and then I'll go back to the sliders and paste them in here. Alright, and then save this, and let's see if this works. There it is. So this is a big reason how I'm able to iterate on the UIs so quickly now, is because of this little text UI builder system here. That was like 90% of the work of this update, was just making that system. So yeah, now we have undo on here. Maybe that's better. And also this rotation thing, I'm conflicted on. I almost want to get rid of it, at least, or put this into the settings menu, because I find that I don't use this that much. I'm curious if anybody here, do you guys use this tilt control often? Because I'm thinking about putting it into here, this little empty spot. It's also a little visually weird because everything is squares and then this one circle, or these two circles. Okay, some people do. I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. This can all be customized, I guess. I need to make a system where the user can go in and make these changes. Although, a little tip for you hardcore people is if you press Control U, um, damn it, it's not working now. But anyway, if you press Control U, you should get this user data folder. And then in here, I don't have it saving UI right now, but let me do that. Let me see. If I close this, and I have a little save UI option here. So if I make it save UI, all right. And then when I close this, it should generate a little UI CFG file in this folder. And if you open this with any text editor, any text editor, it'll just be plain text like this. And this is the entire UI here as text. So you could theoretically go in here and move things around. You can see that they're buttons, right? Oops. There's buttons. They have a name. Blah blah blah. And you can just reorder stuff if you wanted to, or get rid of stuff. Let me see. Let's turn that off. But yeah, if you're brave, you can go in and fiddle with the UI thing. I mean, I can try it here. Let's say we want to get this undo button and put it on the left side of this little menu here. So all you would need to do is go and find that. So I'm going to just search for undo. Redo. Oh wait, this is not the right file. Here it is. Undo. Okay, so I found, this is the undo button. And if I just move this up and save this and reopen Heavypaint, there it is on the left side. So we're just reordering stuff. Let's see, I want to try it without the rotation knob. Oh my god, why don't you? Okay, let's try again. There it is. There, so technically we have the most customizable UI of any art program. Right there. Alright, let me save this thing. So yeah, this is a little janky. I'm not sure what to do with all this yet, but that's just where I am right now. Export. Oh wait, I already exported this. Wait, let me try exporting bigger. I think I've got an issue that I need to fix now, where when you export bigger, it's like really messing up the smudges and stuff. Let me just see. Let me compare them real quick. So let's see, onion. Here's one. Wait, how do you do it on Mac? You just onion big, onion small. Well, it's not too bad. I guess I didn't really smudge at all on this one. They look basically the same. Look at all that chunky texture. Yeah. Alright guys, I'm done with my onion. I'm done sharing everything today with the progress so far. Only got a week left until Lightbox. I hope this will be done by then. It should be. We're gonna be like sliding I don't know, screeching to a halt into the table seat. But I'll be tabling there with Jojo, who's this really amazing painter. I'll bring up Jojo's stuff here. So yeah, Jojo's gonna be tabling with me and helping out with the booth. So it should be cool. She's been doing these weird aquarium paintings recently. And oh yeah, she seems to really like blue. So anyway, we'll see you there, I guess, if you're coming to Lightbox, or yeah, if not, this update will be out within the week anyway. So okay guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining in. Bye bye.